So dashboards, what are they and why are we bothering with them? Yeah, everyone says, I want a dashboard, but what do they mean by it? And what does it mean doing it right? Alright lads and lasses, welcome along. Tuppence Tuesday. So one of the things that we're looking at here, right, and this has been a topic that I've dealt with a lot in my career with Power BI, and as we move forward with Power BI, it's going to be a topic that I want you to all be comfortable with, right? And that's dashboards in Power BI. Now, 9 times out of 10, when your management is saying, "Oh, I would love a dashboard so I can properly understand what's going on," what they mean in Power BI terms is a report. And a lot of the content that you'll see in people talking about Power BI is about reports, and they'll be talking about building a report that's going to be a dashboard, right? Power BI has dashboards though, and they are different, right? And we've kind of talked about this before, but it's always good, I think, to come back and revisit these things, and repetition is really how we learn. That's kind of how the human brain works. So what's the factors that we're talking about with this, right? So how's about we start by looking at this, yeah, because it's about the Power BI service, yeah, and in the service we're all comfortable now, aren't we, with the idea that we've kind of got our data, and then from our data we make our tables and then combine them into a data model, and then that data model goes into one or more reports. Makes sense, right? A dashboard though is different, right? It sits above your reports and it's made up of tiles, and a tile will point somewhere, and that can be to a report, it can be to a web page, it can be to pretty much anything you want really. But in practice, and what we'll talk about the most, is where it's linked into a report. So in essence, your dashboards become a menu system, because don't forget, a report can only link to one data set. But your workspace, your app that you're looking to publish to your people to view, right, can have multiple data sets in it. And the way you surface up and make it easy for people to access it is with dashboards. And you can use dashboards just as a menu system. Like, you literally can just put a tile, click here to go to this report, click there to go to this, right? That works, right? You can also do a little bit more with it and be a little bit clever. So, past life, behind here, right, this is a dashboard that I presented at a conference back in 2018, I think it's 2018, right? And it's about trying to understand each of these tiles that you see behind us here, behind the scenes, links to a report and a page on a report in the case of the top ones. Top ones are looking at the current month, then we're looking at the last month. We can see over here on the right hand side we've got the last 12 months, which would take us to a more detailed report about what's going on in the last 12 months. Year on year comparisons, all sorts of different information, but all just surfaced up with that single page view. That's the mindset. So it's a menu because you've got access to different reports and links to different content. It's a user, it guides the user base to content. So I'm not having to think, oh, I need to see this, I need to see that. It's all surfaced up in a way that's contextual and easy to access and consume at a glance, which is key, right? And that's then where psychology hits in, because it is all about psychology and the human mind and how it works, and really how much time you have to get people's attention. So what I did was I set something up in here just based on the New York Water Tower data set. And this is what we're going to do on Fridays. We're going through how this was all built, right? But this is a really good piece of psychology, right? So human mind works top to bottom, yeah? And, Western world, we work top left, right? So top left, here we've got Manhattan, right? Because that's going to be the most common, right? Now we've got columns driving the data down, right? And again, top. So what's the key thing I need people to understand, right? And what I've done is I've messed around with this a little bit, right? There's still more work to be done, and we'll talk about that on Friday, right, for the weekend work video that we're going to deal with this, right? But the key thing is it's identical, right? And this is different boroughs. You could do in your business different departments, different regions, different product lines, all sorts of things like that. But what you do is by putting it consistently in this format, right, it works very well for people to actually do it. And the guide I would give, right, you lose your top layer, definitely, you've lost that at least, right, to your menu structure in terms of who is this, what department are we looking at, right? That's just the nature of the beast, mate. There's no way around it. What you then can do, though, is actually start to have the top 2, maybe 3 next rows down, be very specific and across all your areas, right? So here, what we've got is we've got the building count, how many have been inspected this year, and how many have not been inspected in the last year, well, in this year and the previous year, so that we urgently need to do something about it, right? And that we could then have a report detailing issues with those people. So you click on it and it would take you straight to the bad people view, where you could then do something. So from a New York City perspective, those are the people you might be looking to fine. You know, you're behind, so you're liable now because of something, right? So there's a good piece of information there. And that's another topic, isn't it? It's about the call to action. What are the things that I need someone to do about the content, and making it all surface up in a transparent way? It's important, though, that we work out what we want our audience to do when they see content on a dashboard, right? That call to action phrase is really key here. So what do you reckon then? Yeah? Dashboards are a difficult thing to get your head around initially, purely because they only exist in the service. And like so many things in platforms like Power BI, if they're not part of the learning process that you go through, they're often just sidelined and not thought about. Okay? I haven't found anything that really brings home and hammers it home, like this is what a dashboard will do for you in Power BI. And there's a few reasons for it, right? I could list them. I mean, the main thing is the legacy mindset. So if I think back to my old days with PowerPoint, I used to produce PowerPoint decks, that were like 50 slides a month, right? No one's looking at them. I can tell you that for free, right? No one looks at them, right? You get some clever so-and-so in a meeting who going, oh, I happen to know on slide 47, last month there was, this month is that. Is there a reason for it, right? 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee it's now to do with them, right? And it's more because the area that they're supposedly in charge of is going down the Swanee, and they're trying to, shift the attention. Legacy mindset, man. Legacy mindset. But what that does is that gets us used to the idea that a report has to have everything, right? And that's one of the things I see in Power BI. And I see it on the forums, I see it in lots of stuff. They're going, oh, I need to have a filter, right? I need a filter, and I need a filter to do this, but then on another page, if you're saying I need different filters in different pages and groups of pages to do this right, 9 times out of 10, the reality is you haven't got your report structures right. You're trying to do everything in one, right? Have one report with the right report structure or filter structure for it, have another report with a different filter structure, and the two don't need to mix, right? Separate reports connected to the same data set, right? That's how you do it. If you turn around and say, I've got 50 reports feeding off this one data set, all just going into this one workspace, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be 51-page reports. You might turn around and say, I've got one report running on this and it's 100 pages, right? I can tell you now that 51-page reports, 50 times one page, right, is far better than 1 times 100 pages. Because if things need to change in a 100-page report, it's a nightmare, right? I mean, I've, work in practical terms with Power BI, biggest report I've had was probably about 20 slides, 20 pages. It was a pain, right? If someone had to change on a page, you were juggling everything. Especially, I need to change, it just became a nightmare. As soon as we said, no, reports are specific and will deal with what you need, and we'll have the ability as well to do the secondary measures, right? On it, just like, forget it, man. We're not wasting our time with this anymore. Lots and lots of small reports is way better than one or two big ones, right? Trust me on that one. And the way you link your small reports together is with dashboards, building up that menu structure, right? And as we talked about the psychology of going down, and we'll cover it more on Friday, so come back on Friday. As you get lower down, there's nothing to stop you making the customer scroll or your consumer scroll down. But you could add more stuff about specific things that are going on. Service improvement activities or other improvements that are going on. You might be validating that. That dashboard can be a really good place to surface those up. And as well, it's all about just understanding what's going on. But you want to have that mindset of structured, moving into less structured and more specific as you go. But dashboards are key to it. And that menu structure and the way that menus can lead to menus as well is something to think through, because there's nothing to stop you having a Manhattan improvements here. And we'll throw one in on Friday. See all that, yeah? A Manhattan improvements area, and that'll take you through and do a bit more for you, yeah? But we're going on far too long now, right, yeah? Don't forget, like and subscribe down below. Head on over to geordieintelligence.co.uk, become a member and enroll on some of our courses where we'll take you through a lot of this stuff, and we'll go into this in a lot more detail and help you through the journey. And my advice would be, of course, that if you're going to do the courses, if you're interested in that sort of thing, become a paid member. Right? Lads and lasses subscription, £10 a month. It's £10 to do the basic introduction to Power Query. Versus, well, it's £20 if you're a free member. It's £10 to do it if you're a paid member. So if you're going to do it, why don't you become a paid member? See what happens for a month. Chances are, I'm sure you'll like it, and it'll help you develop and grow. And of course, that 50% reduction carries on as you go into some of the deeper courses where, you know, once we get the Microsoft course up and running, I think we're looking at £50 for that. Going through into our advanced stuff, that's probably going to be more around the £100 mark. That 50% reduction makes a difference. So don't forget, like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell everyone you know about the great channel Geordie Intelligence, how they're really funny, right, and they help you learn. And we'll see you on Friday for the rest of this. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Ta-da.